All right, 7th graders. Today we're going to talk about lesson 3, and lesson 3 is on evaluating, which means finding a value. We're going to be evaluating expressions, which we learned about in the first lesson, what an expression is. We learned about variable expressions and numerical expressions, and we're going to be working with this type of an expression. You can see the n. You know that then this is a variable expression. N divided by 12. We're going to be finding a value for this expression by putting a number that's given to you into the expression and then finding an answer. All right? So everyone write down that this is the procedure. Put the number in place of the variable and find the answer. Put the number in place of the variable and find the answer. Substitute the number in. So look at this first example. If we're starting with the variable expression n divided by 12, and we put 60 in place of n, then this is what we end up with. 60 divided by 12, which is 5. And then if we put in the next number, 72, you will get 72 divided by 12, which is 6. And then 108 divided by 12, which is 9. Some expressions are this simple, just one step. When you insert the variable and you get an answer, you have an input into the expression, and it gives you an output. Okay, in one step. It's not always just one step though. Look at the second example. The expression we're starting with is 2n plus 3. Now, when the number and the variable are next to each other, you have to remember that that means the operation multiplication. That means to multiply 2 times n. And because of the order of operations, you know you have to multiply before adding. So, if we just put the number in for n, it looks like 20. If we were to write this out and just put the number in place of the variable, 2n plus 5, it looks like 20, doesn't it? So you have to put something in between when you're substituting in order to get that operation. We're not talking about the number 20, we're talking about 2 times 0. So, underneath this example, I want you to write this. Put the number in parentheses when you substitute. Put the number in parentheses when you substitute. Because parentheses mean to multiply. So when you see 2 parentheses 0, you know that means 2 times 0. Then you can find the answer easily, because 2 times 0 is 0, plus 5 is 5. Then put in 2 times 3. 2 times 3 is 6, and 6 plus 5 is 11. And then the third one, 2 times 9. 2 times 9 is 18, plus 5 is 23. Any questions on this process? There's 2 things you have to remember, okay? Put the number in place of a variable, and remember to put the number with parentheses around it, so that you remember to multiply when you have a coefficient or a number that you have to multiply there. Daria?
You spelled answer wrong. You put N. Nope, under that, you put the number in place of the variable.
Oh, in this one. Okay, thanks. There you go. Any other questions? I know that was confusing, so I'm sorry about that. All right, let's do some from your assignment together. Return to page 16. Number 16. Let's start with number 2. 5 minus C. And it says C equals 3. So, right underneath that, write 5 minus 3 equals 2. Okay. Now, this doesn't have any multiplication in it, so you don't need parentheses when you're not talking about multiplication. But, skip to number 4. 3n plus 2. In this one, we're going to have to use parentheses. N equals 7, so write that down. And then, when you substitute it, put 3, parentheses 7, plus 2. And then, write 3 times 7 is 21, plus 2 is 23. Now, you may also write the answer underneath it if you want. Instead of writing the 23 on the side, you could also write it underneath. One thing I would like you to do is to circle the answer. And since this includes the substitution, I want you to circle the whole thing, like that. Or I'm sorry, in this case, the first answer is this, because that shows the substitution of the 7, and then the second answer is this. Okay? So circle both. Circle the substitution and the answer. This is a 2-point question. This one's also a 2-point. One for substituting the number, and one for the correct answer. All right? Number 6, 5a plus 7, and a equals 20. So substitute the 20 in. 5 times 20 plus 7. And then 5 times 20 is 100. Plus 7 is 107. Let's do one from the next section, and then I'll let you start on this. This one gives you 3 variables. Each one is given a value for you. And so, when you're doing number 8, you need to write down the given expression, 8y divided by x. Now, since all of the values for x, y, and z are the same in the whole section, you only need to write them one time. You only need to write that x equals 2, y equals 3, and z equals 10. You only need to write that one time for that section. All right? And then substitute the numbers in. So, 8 times y. divided by x. That's the first step, first point. And then evaluate it. Find the answer. 24, 8 times 3 is 24, divided by 2 is 12. Any questions on this section? Any questions at all? Notice you have to follow the order of operations when you're evaluating these. And I want you to keep going and do through number 26 for tomorrow. 2 to 26 evens.